Hi, beautiful. Welcome to A Course in Miracles, Lesson 17. I see no neutral things. This idea is another step in the direction of identifying cause and effect as it really operates in the world. You see no neutral things because you have no neutral thoughts. It is always the thought that comes first, despite the temptation to believe that it is the other way around. I'm going to pause here and just share an awareness that dropped in for me that relates to this lesson. And it's so often in the world of man, the world of ego, we get lost in this delusion of thinking things have to be a certain way because that's what we've been told. And there's this very dogmatic way of looking at the world of, well, I'll believe it when I see it. When in fact, the exact polar opposite is the truth. You will see it when you believe it, because you're the one creating the images in your mind and creating the thoughts. So the ego tries to give itself a pass by being like, well, I don't believe it because I don't see it. It's like, but you don't see it because you don't believe it. This is not the way the world thinks, but you must learn that it is the way you think. If it were not so, perception would have no cause and would itself be the cause of reality. In view of its highly variable nature, this is hardly likely. It's hardly likely that everybody in the world who's seeing completely different things are all seeing the same truth. What we're seeing is what we've made up. In applying today's idea, say to yourself with eyes open, I see no neutral things because I have no neutral thoughts. Then look about you, resting your glance on each thing you note long enough to say, I do not see a neutral fill in the blank, plant, book, mouse pad. Because my thoughts about this plant, this book, this mouse pad are not neutral. For example, you might say, I do not see a neutral wall because my thoughts are about walls are not neutral. I do not see a neutral body because my thoughts about bodies are not neutral. As usual, it is essential to make no distinctions between what you believe to be animate or inanimate, pleasant or unpleasant. Regardless of what you may believe, you do not see anything that is really alive or really joyous. That is true because you are unaware as of yet of any thought that is really true and therefore really happy. 3 or 4 specific practice periods are recommended, and no less than 3 are required for maximum benefit, even if you experience resistance. However, if you do, the length of the practice period may be reduced to less than the minute or so that is otherwise recommended. I see no neutral things. So at this point in the course, we're just being gently guided to become more aware that our thoughts and the images that we create based on those thoughts are not neutral. And that invitation to be more aware is the first step. In letting go of the destructive thoughts that you've up until now given a pass as neutral or fact or important. You've given them a label of, I have to think this because XYZ. Well, no, you don't. You don't have to create war in your head. You don't have to create hell in your head. That is in fact a choice that you're making. But right now, we don't have the capacity or the awareness to understand that or even believe that. So we're taking these one small step at a time through the course until not only will this make perfect sense to you, but it will be your liberation from the hell and the misery that you've created in your life and that you've created first in your mind and then projected outward. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow for lesson 18.